Hello and welcome to another episode of the Mastermind, Body, and Spirit Show. I am your host, Matt Belair. Today's guest is a licensed pharmacist and compassionate human being who stays on the cutting edge of holistic wellness and botanical medicine. He founded Essential Oil Wizardry in 2014, a humble-sized essential oil company that specializes in organic, wild-crafted essential oils, CO2 extracts, and floral absolutes, and offers over 240 essential oil products. He and his team of wizards offer services of product formulation for aligning brands, customized botanical perfumes, and therapeutic formulas for individuals. He also offers a monthly alchemy club to bring new aromatics. That word's weird for me. Aromatics to your door each month. He hosts essential oil wizardry plate shops around the globe, invites rapid empowered evolution at his transformational botanical retreats, and loves alchemizing in his lab. He enjoys celebrating with community, traveling around the world, learning about medicine from different cultures, uplifting those around him, and living in a life of joy and abundance. Welcome to the show, my friend, the man, Dr. Nick Berry. What's up, homie?
Matt, everything's up. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you. I had to struggle through, even when I was reading it, you sent over. I was like, oh man, this is going to be interesting to get all the words out there, man. I'm sorry I didn't make it as magical as you are. I've talked about you on the podcast, so I'm so excited that you're here. And basically, the way I describe you to people is, when I was at Lightning in a Bottle, I heard this guy speak about essential oils. I knew nothing about them, but all I knew at the end is that I had to have them. You know, your enthusiasm and the way you just were a guy that when you got off, you're not arguing with this guy. You got to get them and learn about them. So since then, because of you, I've looked at them a little bit. I've incorporated them into my life, and I'm learning more and more. So, do you want to just tell the audience a little bit about who you are, how you got to where you are today, because you are a licensed pharmacist, and then we'll just dive into all things essential oils.
Okay. Yeah, well, there's many things I can share about myself. I started my educational journey training as a pharmacist. I graduated pharmacy school in 2009 and really kept an open mind and an open heart, always interested in lifestyle solutions that was going to increase the vitality of people, minimizing the side effect profile and maximizing the joy and the vibrancy in a person's life. And, my journey took me to 2010, I had worked in an Eastern Western pharmacy for about a year, and I was just fascinated by the herbs and by the plants, and it was really an opportunity going to Burning Man, which set my life into a whole new direction. At the other end of my first Burning Man in 2010, I had some friends that were starting a cannabis testing facility. And I said, how does a pharmacist fit into this picture? How do we really bring more legitimacy to this plant as a medicine on this planet? And so I started marketing myself to different dispensaries to do consulting with patients, looking at cannabis strains to determine what would be the most therapeutic solutions for patients. And it's really doing the consulting at cannabis clinics and studying more about the cannabis plant, which brought me to the world of terpenes, which brought me to the world of essential oils. And so it's been a wonderful journey, Matt, of just following my heart and listening to the plants. And I, started with about 5 essential oils in my personal collection. And it was intended as joy and fulfillment to share with friends. And I started learning more and more about the therapeutic aspects of them, sharing them in smaller groups, and people would give me feedback. Wow, this is amazing. You need to get this out. You need to share it with more people. So I remember one of the first events I did was the Lucent Dossier show in 2012. And when I was posed that that suggestion, I said, okay, how do I bring this to more people? Oh, there's this event, Lucidity Festival. You should reach out to the organizers and you should bring your magic there. So I said, okay. So it's really been a life path journey of listening to my heart, learning more about the plants, sharing the botanical essences freely with others and getting feedback. And the more I put out the essential oils and explored and experimented with them and shared that with other people, the more feedback I got and the more I was able to receive in terms of information and passion. And it's been a wonderful journey. And I'm really excited to explore that more with you guys today.
Amazing, man. Yeah, well, I've had the privilege to be at multiple of your workshops. One of your talks, like I said, at Lightning in a Bottle, I was at your talk at Oregon Eclipse, and everybody loves them. And every time I hear you speak, I learn more. And I think that, the challenge for me, at least, I don't know for most people, is you don't even know anything about them. You kind of hear essential oils and what does that mean? Which one do I go get? What do they do? And as I'm finding out more and more from you, is you can almost get an essential oil for almost anything that you would just go to the pharmacy to get, pretty close. So do you want to maybe educate us a little bit on like the basics of, what essential oils are, what are some uses, maybe some of your favorite blends, or just give us like a groundwork of what they are and how they work?
So essential oils are considered to be the soul of the plant, and they're typically extracted using steam distillation, sometimes CO2 extraction. So there's different extraction methods in order to pull out the essential oils or the essence of the plant. And so these are communication molecules found inside plants. They seem to be pharmacologically active at very low concentration and tend to have their own flavor and therapeutic effects when put inside the human body. This is the reason why they're so potent. Just very small concentrations of these aromatic molecules can really create physiological shifts inside the human physiology. So steam distillation and CO2 extraction are the most common types of essential oils available on the market. Something that's important to be aware of is that not all essential oils are birthed equally, okay? The higher the pressures, the higher the temperatures when you're doing extractions, the more potential for some of the delicate aromatic molecules to get destroyed. In CO2 extracts, it's really important that you start with great, healthy botanical material, because some of the pesticides or fertilizers can get concentrated with things that you don't want. Our company really does the best to find some of the highest quality organic and wild-crafted essential oils, CO2 extracts from all over the world. There's also floral absolutes. And so an absolute is typically a solvent extract. The most common solvent extract is hexane, and the concrete is so some of the aromatic molecules are pulled out with some of the lipids and waxes, and you get an aromatic concrete, which is then washed using ethanol, and the ethanol is evaporated, and you're left with a floral absolute, such as jasmine. And so these are some of the different options that are available to people. And when you're talking about using essential oils therapeutically, you're going to want something that is unsprayed, doesn't have any added pesticides or fertilizers, because you don't want to be putting concentrated amounts of that into your system. And so essential oils and CO2 extracts are really what are going to be the most common things that you're going to want to use therapeutically speaking. So how's that for a little beginning taste?
Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. Well, it's interesting. You said you have 240 products, and as you do your play shops at the festivals and around the world and where you do them, each one is correlating to some other effect. One of the ways that I was wrapping my mind around it at first was that okay, just, senses, right? So, if you go and you smell something like gasoline or manure, it's going to kind of throw your body out of whack. It's going to be like not harmonious, right? But these natural smells can have the effect of, putting you into a harmonious state, but that's just the smell, because your skin, it's going to absorb some of those essential oils as well. So there's going to be an effect on the skin as well. So, maybe you can kind of explore some of your favorite blends or mixes, or maybe some of the uh, common things that people would have no idea can be cured or helped with essential oils. Like maybe rather than using an Advil for a headache, you have something that would work just the same. That idea.
Mm. Well, I guess I could start off by saying, since you gave the Advil example for a headache, I have a really awesome formula. It's called Trinity. And Trinity is a combination of rosemary cineol, peppermint, and lavender melette infused in fractionated coconut oil with some ormus. And I'll get into what makes our product so unique in a little bit. So this formula is really effective. I personally find somewhere around 60-ish% of my headaches will dissolve in about 5 seconds after taking deep inhalation with the Trinity and then massaging it into my temples and into my scalp. And so, yeah, that's one example of a lifestyle solution that works really well. Maybe one thing that I can touch about is knowing that there may be many viewers who are new to the world of essential oils. I can share some of the different ways that these essential oils can be used. So essential oils can be used aromatically. People enjoy putting essential oils into a diffuser. So a diffuser is something that will vibrate the molecules or heat up the molecules, sometimes in water, sometimes not. And the essential oil will aerate into the environment, into the space. And so there's many different purposes that this can be used for. Something like lavender or Roman chamomile can be really wonderful for just relaxing, slowing down the mind, something to kind of put something to put into the bedroom. An example of using Eucalyptus citriodora, or lemon eucalyptus, as it's often called. You can, we found it to be really effective for staving off fruit flies and kind of keeping them away. So we've actually had that in our kitchen when we're growing different kombucha or other types of fun wild ferments. And so it's such a wonderful world to explore and play using a diffuser. Now, I would say that skin application is probably the most common way. That and direct inhalation are the most common ways that I like to use my essential oils. The skin is the largest organ in our body. Many of our blends are specifically targeted and intended for topical use and ready for the end user to use. And so essential oils are so strong and potent that a pure drop of essential oil is really too much for the body to effectively process and utilize. And so what we do at Essential Oil Wizardry is we enjoy infusing our essential oil concentrates into a carrier oil. So the carrier oil that we like to use is fractionated coconut oil. The reason this is fractionated coconut oil is well, what it is it's coconut oil which is heated and then centrifuged, and they separate the different density triglycerides, and they remove the medium chain triglycerides, which stay liquid at room temperature. It doesn't have its own fragrance. It has a long, stable shelf life. It absorbs really well into the skin, and it comes from a renewable source. And so that's what we like to use. So for our essential oil blends, when we're infusing into carrier oil for topical use, you're able to put it, you're able to spread it further onto the body. It's not going to be as overwhelming. It'll be more whelming and potent and do what it's supposed to do. And yeah, you'll be able to enjoy all types of effects. You know, our company and the products that we develop are really from a holistic perspective. We have everything from therapeutic formulas to botanical perfumes. We do things for social pleasure. We do things for aromatic purposes, and we do therapeutic formulas to make people's lives more wonderful.
That's amazing, man. Is that process that you use with the coconut oil, is that something unique to how you make the oils?
I don't know many other commercial essential oil companies on the market that are infusing their blends or different products into a carrier oil. For us, it helps to bring down the cost to the end user, and it allows precious resources like rose or Palo Santo or sandalwood to actually get distributed to a broader audience while making less of a footprint on the planet. And yeah, I mean, like I said, a pure drop of essential oil is a lot of information for the body to take, and you don't need that much. So putting it into a carrier oil and blending it with other essential oils for synergy, or even just a single essential oil, which we like to call anointing blends, like our Palo Santo anointing or rose anointing, you're able to really get the information, the aromatic profile the from the plant, and it's able to go out to more people. So one gift to the world.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Yeah. And you're where you are right now, you've started your own farm scenario, right? To actually grow the plants and things like that, to basically do as much as you can in-house.
Yeah, so we're going to be moving up to Ashland, Oregon at the end of December, and we're really excited about this transition. So I've been renting out a commercial space and sourcing organic and wildcrafted essential oils and CO2 extracts from all over the world since the birth of my company. And part of the overall vision is, how can I make the world a better place? How can we create more opportunities for the planet in different countries who are really specializing in different plants, and bring this to more of a community opportunity? So our next phase is moving up to Ashland, Oregon, and we are in the process of making the finances align for to bring the highest perspective of this gift to the world into fruition. So we're going to be moving up to Ashland, Oregon. We're actually checking out another place that may be an interim solution next weekend that I'm really excited about. And the goal is to set up our own extraction facility, start growing our own medicinal herbs and plants, and really incorporating different types of technologies that I've learned about to really increase the vitality and the energetic fields of these plants, so that we are extracting using the most potent, intentional botanical material to really create some life-changing solutions.
Awesome, brother. I love it, man. I love it. You're always, every time I talk to you, you're always up to something incredible and refining it. You know more about essential oils than anyone I've ever met. And you're still diving into it kind of like a mad scientist, and keeping it very organic, as organic and pure as possible. So, at Burning Man, it was one of the gifts that I had. It was an upgrade because I could just carry it with me. And it was interesting to see. I gave it out to hundreds of people, just a dab, and how it would, kind of change instantly. One would bring them into the present moment because I'm talking to them, and then as soon as I have the oil, it just brings them directly into that present moment, and you can just see their physiology change. And from my, background in peak performance and neurology, Tony Robbins is just like, if you want to change your state, change your physiology. And this is kind of doing it for them through a smell, which I find pretty interesting. I'm kind of seeing it from a different perspective. I was like, okay, this stuff works. So one thing I'd like to ask is, and I kind of know the answer to this, are there essential oils that can change your state? Like, how nootropics are taken over, where you take a supplement and you concentrate for longer periods of time, or sometimes even super teas, they can bring you into an elevated state. And I've done tea parties, and tincture parties in Sedona and at festivals where, I get a few drops of things here and there that are just plants, and I'm feeling, pretty good. I was like, this is plants, huh? Well, I guess that makes sense. But I know kava kava is one, and can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we have some ridiculously potent CO2 extracted kava kava that comes from Vanuatu, and it's 60% kava lactones, ridiculously potent. We've formulated a number of products using our CO2 extracted kava kava, including our kava nectar, which is intended to be a well-rounded relaxation. We really formulated around flavor and kind of texture. So it's our rich, silky, velvety kava elixir that we love to share with people. I personally really enjoy our essential oil tinctures. So we have some CO2 extracted kava kava that we infuse into fractionated coconut oil with different essential oil blends. So an example of something that you were talking about that really uplifts the mood and kind of brings a whole nother perspective on joy. An example of that would be our Kava Euphoria tincture. So Kava Euphoria is a combination of 11 different essential oils infused into CO2 extracted kava kava with fractionated coconut oil. And so what I find is that this tincture relaxes the body, it's mentally focusing, and it's also moderately euphoric. I kind of feel in my body's physiology that the peripheral nervous system feels a little bit floaty. There's an increased level of concentration, and the body tends to kind of relax. And so Kava Euphoria is a really great one. It's a wonderful alcohol substitute if you want to be high and lifted, but also be present with people and not have any hangover that you have to deal with. CO2 extracted kava kava should not be combined with alcohol. And for people that are really sensitive, would want to probably try it at a time when they're not at a large party or an event. And I also suggest to drink plenty of water with kava because it's really drying to the body.
Awesome, man. Good to know. Interesting. I'm curious. Do you, because you're a pharmacist, do you, or were, or are, just a different kind, take like an issue somebody might have, let's say anxiety, headache, a symptom, and then reverse engineer with what you know about the essential oils? Is that something that you do?
Yeah, it's definitely something that really helped to build my product line, especially the first few years that our company was present. I can give you a fun example is we have a product called Violet Chill, and Violet Chill is a combination of lavender, cedar, frankincense, myrrh, and helichrysum infused into fractionated coconut oil with the ormus. And so the purpose of Violet Chill and the intentions behind it, it's really good for cuts, burns, inflammation, stress, and also supports speeding up the healing process of wounds. And so when I was living on the Big Island, Hawaii, I was getting all bit up by all types of mosquitoes. I was living there with my mentor at the time for about 3 months. And so I formulated a product which was called Bug Bite Be Gone. And it was very similar to the Violet Chill without the helichrysum. And what I realized was like, oh, wow, this is really soothing. It actually reduces the itching that I'm experiencing for about an hour to 2 hours after application. And I'm noticing the bug bites shorten in duration by about 50%. Another example of a lifestyle solution that I created, kind of reverse engineering, is so many people live with pain. So pain sucks. I formulated a wonderful product called Pain Relief Ice. Pain Relief Ice is a combination of 12 different essential oils and CO2 extracts. It's peppermint, lavender, helichrysum, black pepper, pink pepper, turmeric, wintergreen, German chamomile, spikenard, neoli, rosewood, arnica, and frankincense. That powerful blend is a game changer. I've had people of all different age ranges, different purposes and intentions of using it, everything from athletes to people with arthritis. You apply it on topically typically takes about 5 minutes for the onset, and I've heard the duration of effectiveness anywhere from about 2 to 4 hours. For me, it's closer to that 2-hour range. So yeah, it's when you understand and really celebrate and get connected with the plants, there's so much you can learn. And through that learning and that education, there's so much that can be applied to improve the quality of our life every day.
Awesome, man. Well, I can speak on your Violet Chill because you gifted me that specific one. In must have been genie status, knowing I'm an athlete and I'm probably going to hurt myself eventually, which I did. Skateboarding a couple of weeks ago, and I used it, and I kind of forget about it. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going to use this. And I had rolled my ankle really badly skateboarding. I was on a crutch, but I put it on. It kind of heated up my foot, but the swelling went down really dramatically. And it was interesting because usually when I do that, I'll know how messed up I am. And actually, I was walking after 2 days when I figured, it was going to take me at least a week to be able to walk again. But I was actually being able to walk at 2 days. I don't know if it's specifically because of the oil, but I know it definitely did not hurt. And, even the next morning from how my foot was compared to when I had a very similar injury last year was a total different recovery time. So really interesting. I actually also combined it with the crystal I got from the Arc crystal from Nassim Haramein. So I had like two of these. I had like ancient technology plant and future technologies combined, to heal my foot, and I'm still healing it. So man, I totally dig it. I guess one of the questions I'd like to ask is, let's say you have a family, okay, or you're a human being like me. Do you have like a kit of a top 5 or 6 or 10 that is like, this is your starter kit and this is what they do? Because again, even for me, I know that if I were going through and something happened and you lived with me, you'd be like, oh, Matt, use an essential oil for that. Use it. And I know I could just hear you just coming in like a caption telling me all these uses, because I think for me, I'm just not educated enough on all the different spots I can use them, whether it's cooking, healing, setting the mood. If you wanted to just give, some insight, maybe a 5 to 10 starter kit and like how you can use them.
People always ask me this question, and it never gets easier for me because I just have so many friends that I love to play with. And so the answer is going to be different every time. I feel as though I'm going to answer this question in terms of my blends, because my blends I'm very passionate about. I've created them for specific purposes. And so Violet Chill and Pain Relief Ice are definitely going to be on there. So Violet Chill is going to be great for bug bites, burns, inflammation, and stress. Our Pain Relief Ice formula is for reducing pain, inflammation as an analgesic, and also supports speeding up the healing process of wounds. Trinity, great for headaches, muscle rubs. Rosemary, peppermint, lavender somewhat has properties of an adaptogen. If your body needs a little bit of a pep, it can help to stimulate your body or mind. If your body needs to relax and kind of wind down, then it can help to support that goal as well. I really enjoy our Respire formula. Respire is a combination of peppermint, Ravensar aromatica. It's got eucalyptus polybracteae, black spruce, niali, CO2 extracted frankincense cartiri, laleshwa, and that formula is really powerful for opening up the lungs. Has potent antiviral properties as well. And so what I like to do is apply a few drops into the hands, rub the hands together, take 3 deep inhalations. And sometimes that will produce a cough. It will really help to open up the lungs, the airways. I've had some people with asthma or COPD say that it really supports them. Had one testimonial of someone who felt that they didn't need to use their inhaler for at least a short period of time using it. And so Respire is a great one, especially for traveling. You're going camping, there's lots of dust and particulate in the air. Respire is a game changer. Sometimes when it's really dusty or dirty, you can actually put a drop of your Respire onto your handkerchief. And as you're traveling or moving through a dusty area, you can just breathe in the Respire, and it just opens up the lungs and throat. Respire was actually formulated by me as I started getting a respiratory infection, and I said, oh no, I know what this is, and I know how to rock it out. So I formulated the Respire blend for that purpose, and just put a few drops into a steaming pot of hot water, took a towel, put it over my head with the steam, took a few deep inhalations, had my shirt off, letting the steam penetrate into my cells, into my skin, my chest, my throat, my lungs, taking deep inhalations in. And it was over as soon as it started. Just within about 24 to 48 hours, was able to turn it around. So Respire is really helpful. Another great formula to keep in the tool chest is our Tooth Ease formula. So Tooth Ease is a combination of peppermint, clove, frankincense, myrrh, black pepper, and nutmeg infused in fractionated coconut oil. So Tooth Ease was formulated for a friend's son when I was living on the Big Island, Hawaii, who was just writhing in pain on my friend's couch. Mom's plan was to take him to a dentist the next day. And it was really fun because I had just met her son. He just started visiting Hawaii, and he was very skeptical about everything and everyone that he was meeting in Hawaii. And he really wasn't too fascinated by essential oils at all. And as he was just sitting on the couch, just crying and really wanting something to change, I said, hey, would you love it if I go back into the back room and see if I can formulate something that might reduce some of the pain? And he was like, okay, whatever, that'd be great. So I come back with this formula about an hour and a half. It's evolved a little bit since then. And I bring this formula to him. And what's fascinating is he used a single drop of this on his tooth. Within about 5 minutes, the pain went away. I gave him a bottle. He didn't use it again. He didn't have to go to the dentist the next day, which was the plan. And after a single drop, the infection turned around. I also took this formula, and when I was living on the Big Island, Hawaii, I had a staph infection that developed on my foot. And I don't know, sometimes I'm not the best at taking care of my own opportunities for growth. And so I would apply the Tooth Ease formula on when I remembered, and it was greatly reduced, probably 2 to 3 days. And there was just some remaining that probably took about 1 to 2 weeks. When I was living in Hawaii, there was 4 out of 5 staph infections that I had connected with people that were able to take care of their infection in 24 to 48 hours. So Tooth Ease formula is another game changer, both for topical and for dental purposes. Invigor is another one that I'm really excited about, really to support memory, focus, concentration. It's a combination of CO2 extracted caraway, cardamom, sweet basil, 2 types of rosemary, peppermint, silver fir, and frankincense. And Invigor, how I like to work with Invigor is put a few drops into my hands, rub the hands together, take 3 deep inhalations, just like the Respire. And then you can massage it into the scalp and into the back of your neck. So I find that Invigor is phenomenal. Really kind of gives you a little bit of extra pep, clarity, and focus. It's almost like a cup of coffee in the morning without the extra stimulation in the physical body. It's more like a mental acuity and clarity that comes through. And it doesn't have the type of crash at the other side of it. So it's also another brilliant formula. And yeah, I feel like that's a pretty great place to start. Wouldn't you say, Matt?
Oh, dude, I love it. Well, this is we were getting little bits of whenever you present. You have this huge tool chest behind you, and you get to sit in front as each one comes out, and you get every time is this magical story. And then I friends will go over and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go see Dr. Nick." I was like, "Well, whatever you have in your pocket, you're going to give him, because as soon as you hear what they are, you're just like, how do you not want that one? How do you not want that one? And especially when you go through and you experience them, for me, it just makes sense in the sense that it's plant medicine, it's if we just lived in the forest and we were, just in touch with nature more, this would just be a natural evolution of how we healed ourselves, how we were able to change our states. And so you're just, bringing out new formulas that allow different results to happen, different experiences. And with the, I don't know if it was the violet chill or the eucalyptics, but we have that one in our diffuser at home too. And, whenever it changes the mood, but it also changes the atmosphere. And so if I haven't been putting a drop in, then I'll notice it and I'll put a drop in, and it just changes the whole feeling of the place. So especially if you're looking for, a feng shui environment and your friends are coming over, and they'll just, you can have this whole spa house just from a simple essential oil and one drop. And the one thing that I wanted to comment on was how long they last. When we first met, you gave me one, and I think I had it for almost a year, and I was gifting it out to Burning Man. I was using it like crazy. And I was like, how long does this thing last? I was like, this thing is a tiny bottle, but it doesn't seem to disappear. So I think that if you have kind of a toolkit, they're going to last a lot longer than you think. And then you can kind of just add and then keep it in the back of the brain. Oh, this one, has this effect, and I can use it for that. So fascinating stuff, man, and really exciting. One thing, and then one other thing I want to say is, if you have a product for staph infection, like the MMA community will go nuts, mixed martial arts, all that stuff. Staph is a really big problem there. So I don't know. I just want to mention that to you personally, because, you get on the Joe Rogan podcast and he's like, if you have something for staph infection, everybody wants to know, because it's a really, really big problem. So just a side note on that. So you got a comment?
Got a comment? Yeah. I mean, so many lifestyle solutions that are in my tool chest. Tell me where they go.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we could do like a whole podcast of literally you just going through each product, what they do and how to use it. And I hope that the goal is just to inspire people to check out your website, see all the different ones, because you have an explainer video for most of them and what they do and how to use it. One thing I did want you to touch on, though, is your club, your monthly club that you do, and you educate people and you give them random tinctures and oils. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so our monthly Alchemy subscription is a really exciting offering that we've been bringing to the community for the past 2 years. And so, many people, when they're getting started in the world of essential oils, have no idea where to begin. And so the idea has come to me to really empower both beginners and people who are aware of essential oils and want to dive deeper into the world. So we offer a monthly Alchemy subscription club, and it's this opportunity delivers different essential oil packages to your doorstep every month. And so we have a few different tiers, everything including our basic Young Mage package comes with a Wizard Alchemy blend, and so that's a product that I formulate that gets sent to your doorstep every month. We also step it up with our next tier, which also includes our essential oil of the month and an essential oil tincture. So our essential oil tinctures are essential oils that are infused in organic sugarcane alcohol. And the intention is many people what would I like to say about this? Ingesting essential oils is kind of a controversial and hot topic when it comes into the world of essential oils. And so I feel that ingesting pure essential oils is a lot of information for the body to effectively process and can be detrimental to the liver with time, especially in people who may not be as healthy. And so one solution that we did was we formulated essential oil tinctures, which bring down the volume of the essential oil, and they deliver it into a medium, which is more readily absorbable into the body. And it's a way of minimizing the amount of essential oil that you're ingesting while also getting the therapeutic benefits. And so our essential oils are designed to be everything from therapeutic to kind of social euphoriants like our kava euphoria. And so that's a little bit about the essential oil tincture option. Now, our final tier of the monthly Alchemy Club also includes an exquisite botanical perfume. So, being a small company and being my baby, I really enjoy just creating new gifts for the world. And so our monthly Alchemy Club has really inspired me to continue to bring new aromatic treasures to light. And so our third tier offers exquisite botanical perfumes, which are combinations of essential oils, CO2 extracts, floral absolutes infused in organic honey spirits. So we have a friend, Benjamin Pixie, that distills honey alcohol. He makes mead that is then purified into a higher concentration. And it's phenomenal perfuming material. And so we make these delectable little rollers that come inside our number 3 kits for our monthly members every month. And what's great is so many of these exquisite botanical perfumes are not available on our website, not available to other people. It's kind of like a trial option for us to get to share new creative experiences that are sometimes limited. A few months ago, we did a celestial essential oil tincture, which was a combination of 6 different rare and exotic tree essences infused in honey spirits and sugarcane alcohol. And the celestial was just a total hit. And having such a limited supply of this special Indian sandalwood, it's like, okay, this is a limited time thing. And I'm so stoked to be sharing this with our monthly members. So the monthly Alchemy Club is something that really allows me to create relationship with other community members that are fascinated by essential oils and want to learn more. And also for people that are in the world of essential oils and have tried things and want to go a little bit deeper and explorative. Many of our members have expressed that in the monthly Alchemy subscription comes different essential oil products that they wouldn't normally choose. And so some of those times people are like, whoa, right on, love this.
Awesome, man. Yeah. No, you're definitely good at it too. When you put your little mixes together for me, I enjoy researching them and testing them out. And if I look through your, huge Rolodex, they might not be the ones that I want. But what I really find valuable is there's so much use, there's so much knowledge in essential oil. And as I mentioned, when I first watched you talk, I didn't know anything about it. I just knew that I needed to start educating myself and, bringing that new, technology, essentially plant technology, or, it's like oranges exist, then you start buying oranges because they're good for you. But, it's on a whole nother scale. So I didn't know this. I didn't know that you host botanical retreats. Can you talk a little bit about what that experience is like and how often you do those?
Life-changing, epic. The last one was it was actually this summer, and that was the first one that we did, and we hosted it on the Trillium property, which was purchased by Lucidity Festivals earlier this year. And we actually hosted the first transformational botanical retreat of essential oil wizardry on their property. We had somewhere between 25 and 30 attendees, and it was a really special experience. Imagine me bringing a collection of over 200 pure essential oils, CO2 extracts, wizard alchemy blends, magic misters, essential oil tinctures, botanical perfumes, a blending setup so everyone can make their own exquisite botanical perfume or therapeutic formula. Adding in different ceremonies and plant medicines, and just inviting people to connect, to open their heart to the healing potentials of plants, to take them out to their community. So this was the feeling of the vibration that we co-formulated Trillium. So right now the primary focus is transitioning smoothly up to Ashland, Oregon, getting our lab reset up and kind of dialing in with the local community. And I'm envisioning having another transformational botanical retreat in 2018 or 2019, either on our property or on the Lucidity property, Trillium.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I hope that I can make one. You know, I've only had the hour treatment, so yeah, man, it's going to be good. I'm stoked. If somebody wanted to, is this safe for kids? I just had this in my mind. I was just thinking about the parents, you know, if they got young kids, is there any kind of doctor's warning or advisory there using essential oils with kids?
Yeah, well, I definitely think that children should not be ingesting essential oils. I would, babies can't metabolize many of the essential oils effectively. I believe the age is, don't use essential oils in babies under 2. There's exceptions, and people who are specialists in working with babies and essential oils can go a little bit deeper and say that's not completely true. Lavender and Roman chamomile are likely safe for younger children. Mothers who are nursing may not want to apply large amounts of essential oils or have them directly on their body, as some of them can be transmit through the breast milk, and that can affect babies' growing liver. I would say that younger children likely can use many essential oils topically, so on the bottom of the feet or in a diffuser. I think it's just important to be mindful and maybe do specific research on the individual essential oils, because there's so many diverse essential oils, and all of them kind of get processed through the system in different ways. And so I leave parents empowered to do their own research.
Perfect, man. Yeah, I just wanted to get that out there because I was thinking about it before and I didn't know the answer. So I thought that you'd be a good guy to address that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I wanted to kind of take it a little bit in a different direction, because you and I have spoken personally a few times. I see you as a very intelligent, well-rounded, high vibe guy of service to humanity. We're in these environments and we really do want to give a gift to the world, and we want to change the world for the better. Just in your opinion, do you have any ideas or rituals that you like to do, or anything that just helps you feel more empowered? I remember you and I being at this house party event, and I asked you because I knew the answer, and it was like, hey, Dr. Nick, like, how do you feel like most of the time? And you're like, me, like always, like 100%. And you really are. And it kind of blew my friend's mind. He was just like, essentially sharing that when we experience life, it can be challenging. But we want to shoot towards living an empowered life that we are excited to live, that we aren't looking for peak experiences, to escape from our regular experience. And I was just wondering if you had any insight on if that was a challenging transition for you, or how one might be able to get to that state where they really are enjoying life all the time and their daily existence is a peak experience.
Yeah, I've had a wonderful journey, and my wonderful journey has been filled with challenges and opportunities for growth. I feel as though I had been really fortunate and gifted. My experience was really exploring consciousness and diving into the potential of the human experience. And when something felt right or good in my heart, and the opportunity to try something new, take a chance, take a risk, maybe turn down a job and go travel for a little bit. I usually said yes. And saying yes, I believe, led me onto a path of hyper-aligned synchronicity that really opened up a lot of doors and portals. And so as I reflect on my earlier development, there were times in my personal space where I may not have had all the answers, and I may not have been super clear on how to have the best outcome. I may not have known lots of the linear questions people ask of where am I going to sleep tonight, how am I going to have food on the table next month. I just followed my excitement, and I trusted my passion. And the longer that I followed my passion and I trusted my intuition, the stronger that those skills became and have become. And so this is where I'm at today with, being able to offer over 240 different essential oils and just different expressions of plants to the world. It's my botanical expression to share. And it's because I love what I do. And I trust that, I trust in the support of others, and I trust in the support of myself. And I am suggesting that people listen to their heart, they trust their intuition, and whatever type of linear comforts and safety zones that we feel that we need to continue to survive, quote unquote, it's going to be there. Take a step off the ledge for a few minutes, swim around for a minute, see how that feels. You can always go back to the comforts and the linearity of life. And I feel that once you listen to your highest truth, that the alignments, they just come.
Amazing, man. I love your enthusiasm. And you are always like this too. It's always a treat to speak to you anywhere in the world, on the phone, on a podcast, in person. In person is definitely always best. That's a beautiful answer, man.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Think what that brought up for me was how many people are living in depression and anxiety. So then I thought, do you have essential oil for that? I think that a lot of people can be trapped in a circuit, they're running around in a loop. And when we can introduce some sort of change, the reason why people who have severe alcoholism or drug abuse go into a rehab is because they have to change their environment. It needs to be nowhere near where they were. They're not in their regular routine. They're not around their regular friends. They don't have access to the things that they would have access to. Now, if you can't go that far, what you can do is you can change your environment. So I'm just curious if you would have any special potions in there that if someone is struggling from depression or anxiety, something to use in the diffuser to kind of break their mood and change their environment, to change their inner feeling.
Mm-hmm. So a formula like Moon Cycle was actually intended to help support balance women's hormones. Moon Cycle is lavender, sweet marjoram, clary sage, rose geranium, bergamot, blue yarrow, and fennel infused in fractionated coconut oil with some ormus. And that formulation as a man is one that I actually keep on my bedside, because I find that taking a few deep inhalations, rubbing a drop right below the nose and massaging it into the bottom of my feet before I go to bed seems to really relax my nervous system and slow down the mind, perhaps even more importantly. And so that's something that people who suffer from anxiety may feel a little bit more relaxed with slower racing thoughts, so that they can kind of have their physiology relax more. Our kava chill formulation is also really spectacular for everything that I just spoke about, which also includes CO2 extracted kava kava. So in terms of elevating the mood, the pure essential oils and different tinctures that I have, they really shift the mood, and they can really be pattern interrupters. I like to err on the side of caution. There's so many botanical solutions that I have, and I feel as though, some of them, I can speak to St. John's wort. We have a really potent CO2 extract of St. John's wort, and it's actually so potent that a person needs to be pretty careful with it, because there's a lot of drug interactions. And so it's not something that I typically suggest. It does have pretty powerful mood elevating properties. And I actually stopped selling it pure several years ago, because it's just so strong. One time I took probably about a gram of it. I just wanted to explore and see what it does. And it felt like my head was, I felt my neurotransmitters firing on hyperdrive in the best kind of really powerful and overwhelming kind of way. That felt like a rush to the head and invited me to breathe into my chest deeper. And so I recognize how powerful of a botanical extract that is, and that people need to be careful, especially with all the drug interactions. So in terms of something that is a nice pattern disruptor, I guess I'll talk about a formula that I created. It's called Release, and Release was a product that came through me when I was requested to formulate something to support in the pattern of addiction. And so to this day, I don't have it completely down on how best to use it and how effective it is. Release is 7 different essential oils, and I've infused it into a tincture, and I've also had a pure essential oil that can be vaporized or put into a diffuser. And what I've noticed from Release as a formulation was when I explored it, and I go through my periods where I have better balance, and sometimes I'm busier and have way too much on my plate. And I noticed that when I was exploring with Release, my habits of eating like fruits and kind of sweet things in that realm later in the day to kind of serve as a balance for being overactive for 12 hours during the day, I noticed that I became more present with the idea of craving the sweet or the food at like 11 p.m. when I was getting ready to go to bed. And it almost acted as, I want to say, like a one-way or two-way valve, where I would set the intention like, okay, I'm going to have an orange right now. And then as I started thinking about the orange and I would go to the orange, then I would all of a sudden feel my body and I would say, oh, I'm not really hungry. And so it gave me this instantaneous reflection of when I'm about to take the action of something that, my mind thinks I want to do to rehabituate a pattern, to release. It gave me kind of a reflection, and I felt my body and I was like, wait, I'm not actually hungry. I just want this. I'm craving the sugar right now. So then it was like, great. Do I want to eat this, or or am I actually not interested? And so it gave me an opportunity to say, yes, I want to be human and I want to enjoy this orange right now. And it also gave me the opportunity to say like, oh, okay, cool. I don't really want that right now. So as far as release goes, I don't know how effective it is for other people and for different types of drugs, alcohol, chemicals. I've heard a few stories. I know people who have stopped smoking cigarettes, using half the bottle, however they were using it, and they gifted it to someone else. And I also don't want to make any claims. So, yeah.
Wow. Interesting, man. Interesting stuff. See, we're getting into the real wizardry here.
Yeah.
And even if you use that with the placebo, right? That's the thing, is like, no one thing is just going to cure you or do the work, but it can assist you, right? And what you're talking about, the pattern interrupt, again, that's, NLP stuff for me, is if somebody's just talking about their story, you interrupt their pattern with something, so it breaks it up so you can insert another option. And that's what it is. If you're addicted to alcohol or something, you don't have an option to make another choice. It's just like this one choice. But, if we can interrupt that pattern to give a little space and time in however way to allow you either presence or something to assess the situation that you seem to just habitually run. So very, very interesting stuff. I guess the last one I want to ask, for just because as you share more, I think about different things, but would the same tincture be used for people who have trouble sleeping? Because I know that's a problem one as well. It's pretty common.
Yeah, Kava Chill is probably my favorite formulation for getting a deeper quality of sleep. I find that it helps to slow down the mind, relax the nervous system, and it feels as though the quality of sleep enhances. And so Moon Cycle and or Kava Chill are pretty wonderful formulas for that purpose. Those are usually my go-tos.
Awesome. Cool, man. Yeah. Well, brother, I want to, I don't know. I'd love to talk to you all day about each individual product and what you do. I just want to thank you for coming on and all the work that you've done and everything that you're putting out there. So the last question is pretty broad. I'm just wondering if,
before we get to the last question, Matt, I'm wondering about maybe sharing a little bit about what makes our oils and our products unique, because there's some magic behind the scenes that happens.
Yeah, brother. Well, the last question was anything that I missed or you wanted to talk about for as long as you'd like. So there's no ending on time. It's just, yeah, man, totally get into it.
I love that. So, over the years, I've definitely been really both finding some of the highest quality botanicals all over the planet, like our wonderful Omani frankincense sacra, which goes through a 13-hour distillation from our distiller. And I've been exploring different types of technologies and ways that we can take some of the finest botanical extracts and how we can vibe them up and take them to the next level. And so at Essential Oil Wizardry, we do our best to continually up level. And there's a lot of opportunity for our growth still. There's things that I'm learning all the time and mistakes that I make that I learn from. And so there's some different ways that we've found that can really increase the potency and the vibrations of our products. And so, you illuminated a little bit about a technological piece earlier. You were talking about a different type of pendant that was sitting with the oil and during your injury on your leg, I think it was. And so I've been exploring with a number of different technological pieces that can really amplify the potency of our oils. So examples of this are orgonite. So orgonite is a composite resin that is filled with it's usually organic and inorganic material, typically ground up crystals and copper or different wire shavings. And so being in an artisan kind of international community, I have some of the coolest friends on the planet making some really special artisan crafted orgonite pieces. And what I found is that the orgonite really helps to potentiate the potency of the oils. And taking it a step further, we've learned that the orgonite really helps to amplify energy. One technology that we've been toying around with is imprinting frequency using some hologram stickers. So these stickers will start holding different frequencies. And when you apply the oils with these frequencies, the oils start holding these charge. So an example of this could be the example of enhancing an oil with the frequencies of Ormus. And so Ormus really tends to potentiate or make stronger whatever is added into it. And so what we've been able to do is taking Ormus, taking the frequencies of Ormus and then imprinting that into the oil and using orgonite to activate and amplify the charge of that Ormus. Other things that we've been doing to the products, our oils, many of the things we don't even add anything into the oil. We just like to energetically vibe it up with intention, our love, and our focus and our personal practice. Another thing that we found that really creates a whole nother level of product is the vibrational tuning. So we have a set of 432 hertz crystal bowls that we amplify our different blends through, and it's really an intuitive process, having a relationship with the bowls and the different products, the individual essential oils and the blends that I formulate, and then also knowing what the intention of the blend is. I get that the blend should be amplified with specific notes. And so what I'll do is I'll take the bottle of essential oil and I'll play it in this set of crystal bowls to whatever note that wants to amplify the potency. And it's really fascinating because I've had all types of people, different walks of life and belief systems and structures, straight up scientists with open minds and that don't believe it, where they will, take an oil beforehand and I say, cool, play it in here for a few minutes and let them play it for several minutes. And then they'll take it out and they'll smell it afterwards. And they'll be like, wow, this is definitely noticeably different. I am noticing and experiencing this. I am noticing and experiencing that. So we found that vibrationally tuning our products really helps to elevate and amplify desired outcomes. And an interesting point on that is it's not always a desired outcome, which is why it's so fun that usually the best outcome intuitively comes to me, or at least a desired outcome intuitively comes to me. So giving you an example of something that is not really desired would be tuning our crown chakra formula, which is intended to expand consciousness and awareness and really support during meditation, may not want to be very earthly bodied, grounded in the same sense. And so some of the different essential oils that I may select for that formula may not want to be really brought down to its earth level. And so if I take that and I put it into a note like C and I play it in our C crystal bowl, what I find is that it loses its really heady characteristics, and it's also not super grounded either. And so now you have this oil that's left in between without its identity fully recognized. So the sound vibration is another pearl of wisdom and magic that we love infusing our products with. Another thing, I started speaking about our blends, and our blends are definitely where my passion is. And so a majority of our blends are infused in fractionated coconut oil, and I believe I spoke on the reasons on why we utilize carrier oils in our products. And so One of my friends, Yosef Stone, a wonderful perfumer in the community, if you haven't checked out his products yet, you definitely should. He makes really phenomenal, spot-on perfumes for people. So Yosef, a few years ago, he was talking about this process called live oil. And live oil, what it does is it pulls out some of the monoatomic minerals from salts. And so we typically use Dead Sea salt and Celtic sea salt. And it pulls those monoatomic minerals into the oil solution. So this process is called a live oil, and we do a live oil extraction. Many of our products have this, I like to call it Ormus enhanced fractionated coconut oil. And what I've noticed is that this live oil really helps to increase the potency of the fragrance, seemingly of the effect. It feels as though the absorption increases while simultaneously staying in terms of the fragrance profile stays on the skin longer. So it's something that really amplifies the magic of our blends. So those are some unique things that our essential oil wizardry is bringing to the world, and some of the ways that our products are really neat and unique. And it's fun. I've been sourcing essential oils for the past it's been a number of years now, and I'm really excited because the next phases, I want to be more involved with creating medicine through extracting and through the farming, collaborating with local farmers and supporting artisans that are just making badass distillations and really potent, heartfelt extractions, tending to the land and ceremonial and conscious ways. And I feel really hopeful for the future of our species, of our company, and just the learning experience of the relationship of plants. So I guess that's some inspiration that I wanted to share, Matt. If you have any other ideas or questions that you want to ask me, then I'm all smiles. And if not, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to connect with you and to connect with all of our wonderful viewers. For people who are just learning about essential oils for the first time or for the 100th time, I have well over 100 essential oil videos at essentialoilwizardry.com. I've heard they're pretty entertaining, and that sometimes movie nights are a wonderful, they can make for great movie nights with your friends, just watching the different videos on my website. If anyone has any questions, www.essentialoilwizardry.com is where you'll find me and my team. And just humbly grateful.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I love that. I'm super glad you touched on that. That's why I always make sure the last question of just, if there's anything that I wish that I had asked, if there's anything you want to talk about, I'm here. So you took advantage of that, because I didn't want to miss that. I wasn't sure, because I had them written down. I wasn't sure if you touched on it enough, but I'm really glad you did, because, for me, that stuff is all very real, and it really takes it to a next level. Dr. Emoto experiments with water, and just putting love and saying love into water and then having them freeze. And I imagine the same thing would happen to oils. It only makes sense. And when we're talking about frequency and vibration, coming back from Egypt with the Resonance Science Foundation, their whole academy is the Resonance Academy. It's coming into harmonic resonance. So when we're adding these elements, the same with orgonite, I know a few orgonite makers, and, Jason from My Pyramids, that guy, as much as you're going to go off about essential oils and how amazing they are, because they are from the research that you've done, he'll go on for hours about orgonite and how you can use it and how, it has these type of properties. So the fact that you're learning from the community that you're in, and you're using the technologies, because, in Sedona, a lot of people have organite under their water. And when people ask me how to max out their water, I'm like, you got to get an organite charging plate, stick a flower life symbol on there, some love or abundance or whatever it is that you need, do ceremony with your water. And you're making a conscious commitment to take all of the process and bring as much ceremony, love, good vibes and intention in, so that love is passed on. And there's even studies with plants now. I listened to a podcast. I got to remember his name. It's from Live Longer Labs about the C60, but it's this NASA scientist, and he's showing now that, well, he didn't go into the details, but he's basically hinting at the fact that he's able to now communicate with plants and figure out what they mean and how they're intelligent, and how,
Wow.
when we're talking to our plants and they grow bigger, we have a lot of science to that. So I imagine that that's your, the thing that you want. Your whole farm is going to be this beautiful farm where it's just ceremony, and it's, you're talking to the plants and you got organite. Like, it's going to be the best, man. So I definitely wish you all the success, love, and support. And I know that how much effort you put into all your products and how amazing they are. So just thank you for being you, man. Thank you for educating the world on something that's pretty, not common right now. And that's why I wanted to have you on the show, is just to show people like, hey, these things are out there. They work. There's just infinite applications for them. So you kind of just start exploring. And then we can get away from, a little bit less of the pharmaceuticals, a little less of the Band-Aid fixes, and a little bit more of a natural solution, a little bit more of a natural remedy and natural enhancements. So yeah, man. So I'll ask you the same question. Is there anything else that I missed that you wanted to touch on? You want to go a little deeper in, or do you feel complete?
Oh man. Well, I can leave our friendly viewers to go a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole, and I will say that one of my most current passions is formulating exquisite botanical perfumes, and I haven't touched too much on them. If you love the idea of hearing something about an exquisite perfume called Seduction. Seduction is cacao absolute, oak moss. It's got vetiver, red mandarin, cananga, Michaelia alba, and balsam fir absolute, infused in organic honey spirits that you get to rub onto your wrists and rub it around your body as a botanical perfume. If that excites you, get ready, because we have lots of exquisite botanical perfumes that we're going to be releasing over the next few months, and I'm excited to share them with the world. And I'm feeling pretty complete for round one, Matt. It's been such a pleasure being on the show, and thanks to all of our wonderful listeners for tuning in your time and choosing to be with us right now. And hope you had as wonderful of an experience as I did.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. So you left your website, right, for people who want to, get product and learn about it. It's all over at essentialoilwizardry.com.
That is 100% correct. And, for your viewers, let's bless them up with a little 10% off using the coupon code PLANTMAGIC, PLANTMAGIC. I usually spell magic with a K, so that's probably why I spelled it out for everyone. If you want to go ahead and use that coupon code, we'll save you 10% off and include a little gift in your package.
Ah, sweet, man. Yeah. Do you still have your crowdfunding going on, or is that done now?
That's finished. Yeah, we generated.
It's finished. Okay, I want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to everyone who supported, and we're still looking for the appropriate financing for the mortgage on our property. And we also have a beautiful location that we're going to be checking out next week. And oh, look, I'm going to sign for a package right now.
Yes. Very nice. All business.
Essential oils for the world. Thanks, brother. Yeah. So, so we found it. There's another place we're going to be checking out next week, and so it's exciting. I'm either going to an opportunity for a private lender will come up that can support the mortgage based on a repayment plan for the 5-acre property that we proposed on our Indiegogo campaign, and or we're moving up to another really wonderful place on a 1/4 acre that we're checking out next week. So we're amped to be moving to Ashland and bringing more magic to the world, and we just trust in the process every day, every moment.
Amazing, man. Well, you're always an inspiration, my friend. And, I know that you're going to expand and grow and do whatever you need to do. But thanks for being you. Thanks for coming on the show and sharing, all your knowledge and wisdom, brother. It was a pleasure.
Oh, it's truly an honor, Matt. Thank you for the experience, and thank you to all of our viewers.
Awesome. See you, brother. See you guys.
Peace, Matt.